Yeah. And then I realised, and then I spoke about it again. Adam Smith says, I really don't like Den giving stuff to the likes of Ghost. Well, look, Glenn, this is what I want to say on that situation. I have noticed the stupidity that's going on. If people can't see the modus operandi, let me just explain it to you. Den gets fixated on somebody that he doesn't like, either because he just doesn't like their personality, or because they won't take orders from him because he thinks he's a self-appointed leader of everybody on YouTube, or because they've offended him in some small way to do with himself. Okay. And then what happens is he becomes fixated. He tries to attack that person. It doesn't matter who it is. If that doesn't work, he'll then attack all the people around them to try and cause divisions and get people to separate up. If that doesn't work, he then focuses in on each of the individuals around his main target, one by one, which is the stage he's at the moment. Den doesn't mind working with the left. I have my suspicions that he is the left. Yeah. Because when I look back at all of the people that he's actually caused divisions amongst, there's a whole long list of people on the right that he's affected. You
should know, man.
I don't know. I also think that he's got some kind of disorder, some delusions of grandeur, along with autism and maybe Asperger's.
You know, you would have knew. Jupiter was a doctor.
That's only, I'm not a professional medical person, so I have to state that's only my opinion.
Yeah, we all know your opinion is not worth shit.
His personality, Dupes, is not stable. He can be one person one day and then another person the next day.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a disorder going on there, but I think that a lot of it is because he thinks that he doesn't seem to understand my personality, and that's fine. He doesn't.
Which personality? She's got like 52.
Have to. But he doesn't realise I've been around for a very long time. I've been around for about 7 years.
Yeah, you've been around fucking... You're not even 7 years. I've been around double that, you mad bitch. You've been around no time at all.
And I talk to people on the left as well as on the right and everybody else in between.
Yeah, you're forgetting to mention the part where he's around all the far right lunatics, aren't you? They booted you out. Every single community you've been in, they've booted you out. Funny that.
There are some people that I talk to that I don't even know what political affiliation they've got, because when I go on their shows, they're talking about religion, for example. So I believe that that's what a talk show is, that you talk to all different people. And I enjoy going on other people's channels as much as I do my own, because as you know, Wendy, when you do your own, it's quite exhausting, right?
It is, yeah.
Most normal people have not got the time to spend on all these panels. Jupiter makes it a fucking job.
I don't think that when you sit on a panel, see, I'm a little bit more mature.
Most people have not got 10, 12 hours to spend online. It's mad.
More than a lot of people on here. And I think it takes quite a few people to understand that in this area anyway. In other areas, I'm a little bit more immature, but I'm not perfect, and I never say that I am. But in this particular area, when it comes to reasonability, I think I'm a lot more maturer than the likes of Den and his cohorts. Because
you should be. You're nearly 60 years old, you old fucking weirdo. But you're not. You're literally singing songs about fucking digging up dead children to the fucking mother of murdered children. You sick?
I don't think that if you sit on a panel and you're on a panel discussing a topic, and 6 of the people sitting on there or 2 of the people sitting on there happen to be left-leaning, that means that you're co-signing left-leaning people.
Oh.
Now, I also don't think that if any of those individuals that turn up on them panels, even if they're regular talking on panel, turn out to be hope not hate, yeah, or believe in hope not hate, or shore up hope.
This is going to be funny, I can just tell.
Not hate. Again, it doesn't mean you're condoning their behaviour because you've happened to entertain a discussion with them.
Is that what you've said previously, though, Jupiter? Is that actually what you've said previous when your mate Wendy, who you now sat with, that you've said, yeah, she's definitely hope not hate, blah, fucking blah, yeah? You literally stand on nothing, do you? It's embarrassing.
Okay? So I think that's where he gets things very, very mixed up. You know.
Well, if I got them mixed up, then you got them mixed up as well. So,
you know. Do I think that there is hope not hate agents surrounding me? No. Do I think there are maybe left-leaning people that have surrounded me? Absolutely.
So we're not gonna count Moon, who's literally admitted to running to hope not hate and prevent. We're not gonna count that, no. We're not gonna count your mate Wendy that you sat next to now that you say was hope not hate. Why should we sat with all the other hope not hate agents? Now that's not me saying it, that's you saying it, Jupiter. And we're going to go over all what you've said.
I think that the hope not hate agents were called out by Tommy Robinson himself when he had a mole in Speaker's Corner. And seeing as I was around when that was called out and you was around when that was called out, Wendy, and we weren't fingered as hope not hate, then I think that authenticates the fact that we're not hope not hate.
Not sure that it does. Not sure that it does at all. They didn't bring to light all the other people which have come out as hope not hate and people that have been named in the book. Wendy's friend, Mandy Mosley. They've not pointed anyone out realistically. I'm not being funny, but it seems a lot like this mole is just a figment of people's imaginations.
Well, as Danny said to Den the other night, you know, because apparently Dan then was moaning in the chat, oh, hope not hate, not hope not hate. And he went, well, yeah, well, we'd be able to tell by her voice. He was on about me. Yeah, we'd be able to, I'm sure we would have been able to pick up stuff by her voice from that. I know what Danny was trying to say, but thick Den.
By the sounds of it, you actually don't know what he was trying to say.
Because you said he's so fucking like, I'm right, and you're all wrong.
Now, Danny was trying to allude to the fact that me calling Wendy hope not hate for sitting with all them other hope not hate agents, while you, Wendy, was sat there calling Danny Tomo a nonce and a paedophile, and while you was sat there telling the world that Danny Roscoe was a woman beater and a terrorist, that we're somehow not supposed to look at that or whatever and include you all together in that weird creepy group, which it doesn't get any more hope not hate than that. You was literally all fighting to get in the book. You fucking mad. Now, it helps my argument that Danny agreed with it, Wendy, Jupiter agreed with it, that all these people are hope not hate. Now, if you're going to now say that it's my thoughts and my, it's me that's called these things hope not hate and yous haven't, then you're conflicting your own words, aren't you? Because you and Danny have actually both agreed, these are hope not hate. You've done many streams on it, calling them all hope not hate, and then you was digging into Wendy's family and all kinds of things, weren't you, Jupiter? So how do you work these things out realistically?
Right, and you're all wrong. He doesn't, I don't know, he's got a block there, hasn't he, Jupes? He's really got a big block there. He has...
Don't know if Wendy's taking different meds or something or whatever. She's been running around the care home today, putting all sorts of stupid posts out, which just don't make no sense. Oh, how can I be doxing Crystal when Crystal's Dave? Well, how would that work out, considering Crystal has been on the phone to a police officer for Jupiter in Jupiter's home, and Jupiter's recorded the phone call? Do you think it was Dave making a girl's voice or something? Fucking hell.
He has to be right.
Look, Wendy, the bottom line is this. Did you go over, right, and let me land before you jump, because I might say it in a way that makes you jump and think I'm going somewhere I'm not going. Did you go and sit with people like Simon Law, Danny Oakes-Jones, Be Friendly with Eric, Mandy Mosley, and that little group? Yes, you did. You did. But did you have a reason? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Right? I know what that reason was.
Is this going to be the made-up reason? Okay.
If people like Danny Roscoe wants to know, I'll ask Wendy if it's okay, and I'll tell him. I think Wendy's already told him herself anyway, so it don't matter.
Are we actually going to see Jupiter back up there? Wendy was a fucking infiltrator, deep undercover fucking agent into Hope Not Hate now. This is too funny.
Important people that would need to know, I would tell them why. And I don't think they'd be even upset by the reason why you did what you did, right? Now, it is none of Den's business why you did it, right? Now, did I get annoyed with you? And yes, I did. I got annoyed with you when I heard you sitting there nodding along to some of the shit that was coming out of their mouths, right? I'm not going to lie to you, Wendy.
Well, she weren't just nodding along, was she, Jupiter? She was carrying on with her own version of attacks based off what was being said and all sorts. So, yeah, she was platforming it, she was protecting it. So if I jumped on there and put a comment questioning anything they've said, I just get blocked. So people can make up their own mind.
I did.
Well, part of you must have thought, what the fuck?
Yeah, right? Because I was like, fucking hell. But some of the stuff that Den's accused you of never even happened, because when things got played back, for example, you never said with that group when you were sitting with them that you thought that Danny Tomo was a paedophile. You never said that.
Did she not? People literally just watched the premiere yesterday where Wendy did say that. She denied she said that. I played it back to her and you two just laughed. So this is just barefaced lies from Jupiter again. Backing up Hope Not Hate Wendy. Now, if people can't see that there's a problem and Danny Roscoe is so stupid he will just accept whatever shit comes out of these two idiots' mouths, then yeah, suspect, isn't it?
Somebody else said that, and you happened to sort of be sitting there nodding along and said something along like, oh, well, that's disgusting, or yeah. And then later on, when he confronts you out of temper, you went, well, he is a paedophile, right?
That's right. Out of temper.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Mad remixes going on. I've got the full videos. I've got the full video.
Which is when he's clipped you and gone off and made it into something else, right? Now.
Mad. We can go over anything you want in fine detail. It's madness.
Do I think that Danny Tomo's a paedophile? No, I don't agree that he is. It was a 26-year-old that he slept with, and I got a lot of flack from a lot of people when I was the only one before Dave and a lot of others joined in. Yeah, the only one, right? Because at the time you weren't talking to me, by the way. The only one.
No, but I thought all that was planned and staged. But now it's not. You people make me laugh.
Was saying, well, people need to reason it out. Just because that woman got molested as a child doesn't mean that she can't never grow up and consent to consensual sex, even if it is a one-night stand. Why are you taking her rights away? Because she's a victim.
Exactly, but not only that,
I was disgusted for thinking like that, right?
But how many times have I said for the last year and a half, hang on a minute, no, she was 26 years old, I've spoken to her father, he told me she was 26 years old.
No, I know that since then that you've said that you happen to be privy to a meets call, which I'm not going to lie to you, Wendy or Jitsi, whatever it was. I'm not going to lie to you. I still find it weird that particular little group wanted to speak to the father of the girl that was supposed to have had sex.
Well, you went a bit deeper than that. You said it was quite a lot creeper, pervert, all sat there like some weird group watching two people have sex. He was coming out with a hell of a lot Jupiter. It's mad. I'm just going to play back your own words. Too funny.
Supposed to have had sex with
Well,
Danny Tomo.
I'll be honest with
Right?
you from my recollection. Hang on, Duke. I'll be honest with you from my recollection of that meeting that day. They didn't expect him to come out with what he came out with. Do you understand? They weren't expecting that.
I don't look whether they expect him to come out with whatever he come out with or not. Right? The fact that Danny Oakes Jones and whoever was involved, because I don't know, I only know that one name, and Simon I think was there. Right? That's what I've heard through the grapevine. Well, mainly through you arguing with other people, and I've picked up on it.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know who was in that call. I don't want to know who was in that call. But the fact that that a group of people, right, grown-ass adults, wanted to go out of their way and reach out to somebody's father because their daughter happened to have sex with Danny Tomo when she was 26, I find a bit perverse.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Right? That's just
I went in
that's
there.
just me.
Yeah, no,
That's just
I said,
me.
who's this? And they went, they did give the name, but I can't remember the name. And he's the father. And I thought, oh, right. And they were having a big discussion about everything. And this bloke was saying that he liked Tommy and he had nothing against Tommy and blah, blah, blah. And then he just happened to say, and then somebody asked him how old his daughter was. And he went, oh, when she was, with Danny Tomo, 26.
There you go. But you see, if you could run that through a voice changer and put that out, that would be lovely, but then no one would believe it. But the fact of the matter is that even the father then knows that she was a mature adult and she can make her own decisions. Now, it was creepy weirdos, and I'll say this on the record, and it is my opinion that Simon Lord is a creepy weirdo, okay? I'm allowed to call him a creepy weirdo because I think he is.
What, the person that Wendy was defending so hard for all that time?
It was Simon Lord, the creepy weirdo, that was insistent that somebody like Danny Tomo, and also Den Terrigan, might I add, from his own mouth, who says it's inappropriate for someone like Danny Tomo to actually have a sexual relationship with somebody that he is making a documentary with.
My words was extremely bad taste. Yeah, and I've stuck to that all the way through. And I still think it is extremely bad taste. Simple as that. When you're giving ammunition to the people which are gonna fucking use it against you, then yeah, it's not great, is it?
I don't agree. I don't agree for this reason. I don't agree for this reason, and I've told people why I don't agree.
Oh, I didn't know that had been said.
Yeah, by Den Terrigan, he says that it's inappropriate. Well, because he went a point score against me when he was agreeing with Simon Lord. I mean, this is what I mean. The man's flip-flop.
No, it's not a flip-flop. It's inappropriate behaviour. Now, to you, it may not be, but, we've seen what's appropriate behaviour from a nearly 60-year-old woman. Not being funny, but when you lose an argument, most people don't sit there as a couple and start praying for abuse to happen to their children. That's just weird.
But the fact of the matter is, right, if a 26-year-old, as an adult, begins to recognise that when she was actually underage, she was groomed, yeah, she now has the maturity to understand the warning signs of what grooming is. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was her own decision anyway.
Okay, good. Now, if she's the person that reached out to Danny Tomo and to Tommy Robinson with her story, not the other way around, to say, look, this happened to me when I was a youngster and I'd like you to make it public because I feel like I got no justice and I'm aware that I was groomed.
All right.
Then if Danny Tomo and her decide to have a one-night stand, it's nobody else's fucking business. It's not inappropriate.
Well, no, the 26-year-old.
It's not inappropriate.
Would it be inappropriate to actually do the act at the offices of where you're planning on helping groomed victims? Would that not be inappropriate, no? In my book, that would be highly inappropriate.
Exactly, it's not inappropriate. Adults are allowed to decide who they want to have sex with. Now, what is inappropriate is if you're married and you're unfaithful. That's inappropriate because you've
Well, that's obviously the other aspect of it. Again, inappropriate. So what?
made vows.
He
Right?
was married, wasn't
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
he?
But
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, it's not like he was in any official capacity.
But
If he's
Duke's
representing
even
Tommy
Is that true? Is that a fact? Well, why was Danny Tomo at the offices to begin with?
Robinson, see, this is where I disagree with you, Irish, right? And I'm going to explain why. If he's representing Tommy Robinson, who is exposing grooming gangs and corruption around them, then it's highly inappropriate. Number one, he wasn't representing Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson was in prison at the time that Danny Tomo went and made his documentaries and spoke to all these people. Okay? He done it off his own back. It was his own sort of like baby, and then he handed it over to Tommy Robinson. And if you don't believe me, you can hear Tommy Robinson actually crediting Danny Tomo with doing all the hard work on stage when he actually did the first Rape of Britain. Okay? Okay? That's the first thing. And that's because these people had reached out to Danny Tomo in the absence of Tommy.
Did you get that from watching the video, Jupiter? Because you wasn't there, was you? Real Patriots was, but you wasn't, was you?
Robinson. That's the first thing. The second thing, right? The second thing is, what is corrupt about a man in his 30s, early 30s, asking a fully grown woman of 26 if she wants to have sex, or a 26-year-old woman who's fully grown asking a man in his early 30s if she wants to have sex, if he wants to have sex with her?
There's nothing corrupt about that.
It's not illegal. It's not corrupt.
Well, yeah, that's where we all kind of agreed. Except your mate Wendy, that was making out that Danny Tomo had sex with a 15-year-old and was a paedophile and a nonce. So, how are you sat back with her now? Realistically.
And I'm sick and tired of these creepy perverts on here that say the most disgusting, filthy, creepy stuff about other people.
Is Jupiter now talking about herself? Everything she speaks about ends up being sexual degenerate level or whatever. It's mad. She can speak to someone or whatever and, oh, he's raping my mind. These people are weird. And if it's not that, she's accusing people of raping people or whatever. She's not right in the head.
Up sexual smears and lies all over the place, talking as if they've got the morality on sexual liaisons. Because that is what Simon and Danny Oates-Jones and those people did.
Yeah, and they did that while sat with Wendy, and Wendy was perfectly okay with it all. She agreed with it all to the point where she come out and called Danny Tomo a fucking paedophile.
The only thing that makes it immoral is that he was a married man. Again, though, in 2025, I'm also wise enough and old enough to know it's none of my fucking business.
Well, that's the main thing. It was brought up
because he isn't in a professional capacity. Now, if he was in a professional capacity as a therapist, as a counsellor, as a doctor, a teacher, then there would be stringent ethical protocols that he's got to adhere to.
Yeah,
but he weren't in none of those positions.
I still don't like him though.
Yeah, I don't like the man. I'm not trying to fucking sit here and say he's an angel. I don't particularly like him. I don't like him for what happened outside Parliament Square. I think that was set up. But that's only my opinion. Having said that, I respect the fact that he's Tommy's friend and you know, Tommy wants to be friends.
You didn't. You said Tommy should get rid of him, blah, 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 this, that and the other. It's making the whole movement look bad. And it does, to be fair. Something we can actually agree on. It doesn't look good, realistically, does it? Now, do you think that Danny Tomo is a much better patriot than yourself or Wendy? Yeah, a million times more.
Him is entitled to.
Oh, that doesn't even come into it. The fact is that somebody can't let go of something, even though everyone knows the truth. He still wants to bring it up, because he's fucking moan. It's something wrong with him in the head. Like, this is dead Tarragon.
This is coming from Wendy that has literally put posts out today making out that Crystal doesn't exist, even though Jupiter has literally got a recording on her phone with her voice. Oh no, apparently it's Dave. This bitch is mental.
Keeps bringing it up.
Dan Tarragon likes to talk as if he was the one that actually exposed everything to do with Clown World, right? He wasn't.
Well, you lot only started jumping different directions when I exposed it, so yeah, I did.
He wasn't. The person that exposed it was Moon, whether people like her or not.
Are you having a laugh?
She was actually a clown in Clown World and didn't like what they were doing, gathered all the evidence and sent it to I believe Ginger Tony. It could have been someone else within that group. Tommy Robinson.
This is the bit where they're trying to get Moon back in the fold. You watch, mark my words, these three witches will end up implanting themselves into anything that they can do. It's not a matter of fucking if, but when.
Tommy Robinson called it out on stage on Rape of Britain. You have only got to go. Yeah. You've only got to go and look at the timeline of the recordings to work out that Mandy Mosley sitting on a panel with Danny Oakes-Jones was a long time after Tommy Robinson's expose of Hope Not Hate and Clown World. So I don't know why Den is taking credit for calling out Clown World. What Den did do is go on Space Luke's, which I couldn't have done even if I'd have wanted to, because at that time I wasn't talking to Luke. Yeah. And go on there and ask Mandy some questions that made her look very stupid. Like when she pretended that she had 16,000 images of child abuse on her phone, and that Kyle had shown her a video of Danny Tomo having sex, which we all know is far-fetched and not true. You know, which is why Ginger Tony ended up going round.
Oh, you're missing the vital part out there, Jupiter. They made out she was 15 years old. Wendy's mate Simon was saying, oh, if that's not bad enough, we'll make it 14, 13, 12. Do you want to go lower? Yeah. All these things are documented.
And with that bloke and calling her out in public. But none of that was down to Den. I mean, what?
No, none of it was down to me. I didn't see anybody, not one single person from Team Tommy or yourself or anybody else calling that shit out. Everyone was doing the no comment thing. Now, when I seen the obvious flaws in their bullshit, it was very easy to flat pack.
Then got Mandy to say, assisted them in proving that she's a Billy bullshitter, but
I'm not being funny, but Kyle Breacher literally thanked me on your live feed. Did he not? Did he thank you? I don't think he did.
I'm sure it didn't take much for Mandy to say it. Neither. She did enjoy it.
But the main discussion had already been had on either Danny Oakes-Jones or Simon Lords, and I'd already reviewed it. So all he'd done was call.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What a load of bullshit. What a load of bullshit.
Her out on what she'd already said.
I'm not being funny, but you reviewed myself on Luke's or whatever, ripping Mandy apart, and people have seen that in the last 7 days. So all this you're saying now is just bullshit. It doesn't match with what you've said previously. It doesn't match with all the bullshit that Wendy did. This is just remixed bullshit.
I'd already reviewed Wendy.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Because she used to sit there late in the night, Mandy Mosley, in a
All you reviewed on that side of things was Simon Lord going on about he shagged some little girl in some, I can't remember the name of it, some barracks somewhere or whatever, and he was digging into Wendy, saying, "Oh, this is your friend, blah blah blah, shagging little girls and all this shit." He made him into like a paedophile or something or whatever. Mad.
pyjamas, half blind, talking to Simon Lord.
Yeah, that was the time period or whatever. And you proper ripped into Wendy. Do you think I've not got all the evidence, Jupiter? I can put all this out whenever I want, and I will do. People have already seen all the other build up to things and whatever. It's mad how you think you can remix your way around things. You was either both lying then, and it was a big setup, and Wendy was going fucking deep undercover, or it was actually the way it happened, and you both hated each other and both ripped into each other's families. Now, everyone's aware what's the truth of that situation.
And I caught it late in the night because people know that sometimes I end up staying awake at night for duties.
Yeah, watching the front door because you invite violins to your house all the time and give out your address.
You know?
Mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we didn't even do nothing original then. Now,
As far as I'm
all this stuff that I'm close to, that I've enrolled trolls is absolute bollocks. Have I spoken?
Is it? Is it? Because Danny Roscoe was on the panel with yourself and myself when you have literally said everybody needs an Esau. These people will attack people for us. If they're going to go low, we have to be able to go low. Yeah? All these things have been put out already. You're embarrassing.
To trolls on here? Yes. Has Den Terragon spoken to trolls on here? Yes. Has Dave Smith spoken to trolls?
Yeah, I've spoken to you, Jupiter. You're a troll. I've spoken to you, fucking mate Wendy. She's a troll. I've spoken to Moon. She's a troll. Yeah, I've spoken to trolls.
On here? Yes.
But what does he mean?
There's trolls all over the fucking place.
Jupiter,
Yeah?
what have you
What is it
enrolled
on you?
fucking trolls for? What is he talking about?
Well, when you enrol somebody, that means that you actually fucking authenticate it. You give them a name. You actually
Yeah, but what would
fucking
you wanna do
sign
that?
some sort of contract, and
Have you heard all this
you know, there's
bullshit?
procedures and protocol.
Have you heard all this bullshit? Yes, troll. Can you just fill in this form? Can we do this? Can we take a picture ID? Can you just... Are you fucking mental? Your own words, you've enrolled these trolls to do all the attacks. And Danny fucking Roscoe agreed with you and said, yeah, we need to. And like I said at the time, that's where we go in different paths, because the moment you do that, you're as bad as they are. You've no longer got the ability to point your finger and say, look, you know, these are doing this, these are doing that. Let's expose them for doing all the shit that they're doing, doxing people, attacking people's families, whatever. The moment you go down that road, you are as bad as them, and you literally kill your own argument.
None of that's happened. I've never enrolled anybody to do anything for me.
Bullshit.
Not once.
Bullshit.
Not ever.
Bullshit.
It's mental. If people don't think I'm big enough to fucking look after myself, they want to give their heads a bobble.
Well, we've seen how big you are, and we've seen you in Speaker's Corner with a tiny little Muslim girl, and it didn't end well for you, did it, Jupiter?
Because even though I had my name and address doxed in James Goddard's group, which when he was actually...
No. That was after. Where did they get the address from, Jupiter? You screaming it out, thinking you're the one or whatever. You've put your own address out well before that happened. Stop lying.
The North East manager of Patriotic Alternative, which is meant to be neo-Nazis, by the way.
Northwest, not northeast.
Oh, sorry, Northwest. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even though that happened, I still turned up to rallies.
Yeah, I know.
What rallies? You keep saying this. You've been to loads of rallies. What rallies? You've been to two things. One of them was when your son was in prison and you make out, oh yeah, I went there to support Tommy when he's in prison. No, that's where your son was in prison. Stop lying.
So if people think, you know, that I'm some sort of like weakling, and by the way, so did Hector.
Showing us that you're a weakling. Yourself and Hector was both there when he was getting slapped around Speaker's Corner, for fuck's sake.
Before you fucking think Hector's fucking afraid of anyone, either he ain't. You know what I mean?
When I seen the video, I actually thought Jupiter was there with a child, because she's like nearly 6 foot or whatever, and Hector's like the size of a 12-year-old. I genuinely thought she was there with a child.
So, you know, all this is bullshit that then keeps coming out with. Why they want to rehash stuff, I don't.
The problem you've got there, Jupiter, is people have already watched it in the last 7 days and are perfectly aware that how I'm saying it happened, it happened. People are actually aware whatever you're saying now is utter bullshit. They've literally watched it in the last 7 days.
No. Now, all this that I talk to you, Wendy, and that they think you're suspicious, no offence. If they think you're suspicious, they're entitled to, just like people are allowed to think I'm suspicious. I don't give a fuck, right? Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, right?
Is it suspicious? So if my mate now comes out after I've just exposed Hope Not Hate and all these other wankers with Ginger Tony and Hell Gower, if my mate comes out the next day, my co-pilot that I sit on a live with every day or whatever, comes out and says, oh, actually, you know, I'm pissed off with all this or whatever. I've actually ran to Hope Not Hate and Prevent and reported all these people, the Nazis, blah, 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 all this shit she came out with. Would you not think that's suspicious if I then, the next day, say, oh, she didn't say that. She said some trans group bullshit, blah, 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 whatever. Why would you lie for the person? Yeah, it is suspicious, Jupiter, very.
But that shouldn't stop me engaging with you, because I don't know what they think. I don't know what they think I am. Did I think that I'm some...
Imagine me jumping on Dave's or whatever and say, yeah, I've been in contact with Hope Not Hate and Prevent and all that. Is Dave realistically going to go, oh, it's fine, Dave, jump on the panel? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Naive little girl, right? That when I have conversations with people, straight away I fucking screenshot it like Moon and have a fucking catalogue and then pass the catalogue on to everybody else and hit send. And that every other single person I talk to gets a copy of the conversation, because that don't happen.
No.
I can categorically tell people right now.
Yeah, but you sit in private groups on StreamYard or whatever it was that they said, in your little private anti-freedom of speech takedown team, when you're taking videos and channels down and all that kind of thing. So what, you're not discussing all these things as you're doing it? No. You're full of shit.
I have conversations with lots of people, one-on-one. I don't sit in groups, and those conversations do not get...
Well, that's a blatant lie again, isn't it, Jupiter? You've admitted it. You've admitted it in the last 3 weeks that you do, so...
It's repeated to a third party ever. And the people that have those conversations with me know that.
Well...
all this trying to rewrite history or whatever, it never really ends well. I'm not being funny, but there's not just me that calls you on your bullshit. You've got the Big Bag Rick show, which always puts out all the shit that you come out with. You've got fucking... the amount of people, the amount of clippers realistically seem to focus on you and focus on the people around you, because you're literally the biggest givers of ammunition. You'll say something, then you have to lie about it, then you have to try and cover for that lie with another lie. It's just literally a fucking shit show from start to finish. If you lot could just stick to the truth, the facts and the evidence, you wouldn't actually have people focusing in on you. Have you
He's
ever thought
just
of it that
fucking
way?
obsessed, isn't he? For me, Dan Terrigan equals Kaylee. That is it. That's how I know of him. He came around begging to come on the channel years ago.
I've got the video, Wendy. So have you. Put it back out. Put it back out, or will that not suit your narrative? It won't, will it?
I didn't have a clue who he was. Neither did I don't think you did, and Kaylee and all of it and that. And it was about, I think it was about Jason.
Well, it's about quite a lot, realistically. I told you, the people that is infiltrating your communities at the moment, Wake Up UK, Danny Roscoe, Danny Jones, AJ Tyler, Eric, that little crew of weirdos or whatever that was literally all pushing in shit into your communities, trying to convince you all that somehow a child that got raped was the temptress, the monster, the slag, as some of the people around that situation called her. Was somehow the bad party, and the rapist was somehow the victim. Now, a lot of people didn't take the warning. A lot of people entertained their bullshit to the point where, yeah, they was trying to groom these communities that was the case, that somehow the child is somehow the monster and the rapist was somehow the victim. Now, if you don't like that warning, it doesn't really matter. How did it go? Did they not do that? Yeah, they did. To the point where pretty much everyone called them out except your mate Wendy, funnily enough. She ended up sat with her. Now, Wendy's obviously okay with all that behaviour.
That's the right name, Jason.
Look, the reason, I'll tell you what happened there. It's fucking blatantly obvious what happened there. Then Terrigan fell out with Jason for whatever reason before I even knew Jason, right?
Yeah.
What was the reason? Because he was hosting, platforming and protecting 20-year known scammers that was trying to get our veterans to overthrow Parliament based off a scrapbook of a scammer. Yeah?
He fell out of him and he fell out with Vinnie Sullivan and Davy Russell. I don't even know Davy Russell. I do know Vinnie Sullivan. I met him briefly, went on a couple of his panels, spoke to him a little while.
Yeah, it was Vinnie Sullivan that fucking booted you out that group or whatever. You know full well.
I ain't got a problem with him. Don't necessarily agree with everything he said.
Does he have a problem with you and Wendy? Because I've got the video clip where he was getting booted.
Yes, but I ain't got a problem with him, right? Now, apparently when they were on the show, they fell out with him. There was some argument about Jason's kids. Kaylee was involved. Lots of toing and froing. Don't really know all the details. Yeah. And so...
You do. You was right in the middle of it all. And it was you that was willing for Jason to give you a docket, a link to a docket or whatever, which you shown on your live and docs Danny Simpson's address. Now, you did that because you needed Danny Simpson out of his position in the Amory Waters party, the For Britain party, and you wanted to replace him with Hope Not Hate, Graham Creddy. Now, that's what happened. He was removed. He was angry. Graham Creddy got put back in that position, and Wake Up UK was the information gatherer for that party. Like I said. Now, I spoke to the party, they admitted, yeah, Graham Creddy, used to be in the Hope Not Hate, etc., but he's had a change of heart now. Not being funny, but these things are very questionable. Now, when I pointed that out to you on your platform, Wendy and Jupiter, you both blocked me. Rather than question what I'm saying or go, okay then, do you want to jump on and maybe we could get Graham Creddy to jump on and we can go over it and, no. We won't do that. We'll just block the person warning people. You've got Hope Not Hate in the mix. Not suspicious though, is it?
And so because I dared to go and take a slot on Wake Up UK without knowing all this shit, apparently that means that I'm involved and Jason was my handler. This is how Den Terravigam thinks. Now, does he really believe it? Or was it just a way of trying to stop me from being on Jason's show? I don't know, because I do believe that Den Terravigam tries to manipulate and coerced situations, which is why I don't like the man. Yeah. He also thinks that he can take over and tell people how they should run their organisations, their shows, their channels, their chats, when it's none of his fucking business. If he was so fucking good at it, he'd have a really good show, wouldn't he? But he hasn't. There's only a maximum 100 people watch his shows, most regular. And
I'm not being funny, but the only thing I've actually ever bothered putting together or whatever, and that was a two-part thing. One, to see where Danny Jones would take us with it, because we already had quite a lot of suspicions around it. We wanted to see what he would do. Now, Rude Awakening was my idea from day one. All these things are documented. Danny Jones built a site for it, which we didn't really need. And I think we did maybe 6, maybe 8 shows. Now, I'm not being funny, but considering it started from nothing, we generally always had about 350 people watching. And that was like just the baby steps of it. If we'd have kept that going, you know what I mean? We'd probably be having like 500 views, 1,000 views, whatever, by now. Now, I'm not like you, Jupiter. I've not got all the time in the world to sit online. We did about 8 shows, and then because it kind of served its purpose and whatever, it got parked up. Now, during them shows, Glenn Zaffer jumped on and he exposed Wake Up UK for the anti-freedom of speech takedown team and all that shit or whatever. Again, people have watched that happen in the last 7 days.
And I would say even less than that, right?
111 or 12.
Right? But that's none of my business. Yeah, but that's none of my business.
I'm not being funny, but I've not actually got an active channel. I can't actually remember the last time that I went live.
Yeah? He was with Nutty Kaylee, he's off the planet fucking weirdo with Jade.
Yeah.
And, you know, jealousy but that doesn't become them. That's all I'm going to say. They're all nuts. Right?
Okay. So, Kaylee was around the King's Flag lot for only 9 months. The people that you've still got around you now, people like Pauline Smith and whatever, was around it for like 2 years. They seen all the people that came and left and whatever. Diana and Bill, which was before Kaylee was even around or whatever. They called it out. A lot of people called it out because of what we was doing. By calling out certain things, questioning all their bullshit, flat packing their nonsense, exposing the fact that they didn't have a court case or anything else or whatever. They said, oh, it's been court sealed approved, blah, blah, blah. No, it hadn't. That was pure bullshit. It was a lie that Tracy Blackwell then ran with and got all these people involved and whatever, trying to get our veterans to storm Parliament. Now, you are actually aware of this, Jupiter, because we've gone very deep into it. There's a 7-hour live, which I'll just air again, just to make it look stupid.
Nuts, right? But other people's arguments are not my arguments.
Yeah. On top of that, so then when that King's Flag shit has sunk and we destroyed it, the person to throw Kaylee a lifeline was your handler, Wake Up UK. Said, oh, you know, we can give you a platform, blah, 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 this, that and the other. And the first structured show that was put together with Jason Tyler and a lot of the people that was around that thing at the time was to shit all over Tommy, saying that had this guy called Eric on, Eric from Rotherham, I believe. I spoke to him on there or whatever, all about it, and his version of events was Tommy Robinson was setting his cars on fire. I think he'd lost 3 cars, and Tommy Robinson was poisoning his dogs. Now, obviously, very easy to pull apart, very unbelievable bullshit. But yeah, that was platformed on Wake Up UK. You're missing these bits out, aren't you? But then you're going to try and make out that, oh yeah, we're all patriots, we're all Tommy supporters. How, realistically, when it's just campaigns of hate against Tommy Robinson and the people around him? You people are mad.
They're not my arguments. You know?
And again, yeah, I've got that video as well. I've got everything, evidence-wise. You people are dumb.
And after the first 2 shows, Jason did come to me and say, listen, Jupiter, I think I should warn you, right? There's been trolls coming in, and this is due to me. I've had arguments with people, and so they're trolling your shows.
Well, that weren't me that was trolling the shows or trolling the people around it. That was people like Danny Jones. That was people like AJ Tyler. Eric weren't around at the time, but it was them people that was doing that. Now, I couldn't give 2 fucks either way. For me, anyone that was over there was a bit wonky anyway, so...
Because of the arguments I've had. And I said, I don't care. It's not my business. Right? Told him that.
Now, why was AJ and Danny Jones bitter with Jason? Because he'd filled them with shit, sent them my way, and then when they got filled in with the truth and shown evidence of what actually happened, how it actually happened, etc., they turned on Jason. Now, the only reason they did an about turn, a 180 on that, is because when Kaylee come away from it, bear in mind all the other people that come away from it, all of a sudden Kaylee were to have the same opportunities, etc. So anyone that came away from that, we said, yeah, you can jump on Rude Awakening, you can have your say, this, that and the other. Some people was very vocal on it, some people chose not to. Simple as that.
And when the trolls turned up, I don't...
Now, when Kaylee come away from it, no, we're not having her on, we're not doing this, and it kind of caused a divide in the group, but realistically, like I say, it was partially to do with Rude Awakening in general, was to see where Danny Jones would take us. Bear in mind, he'd already done videos and sat on panels a couple of years before, clearly watching what the Pendragons were doing at the time, which was a constitutional law group. Just calling them all sorts, making out they didn't know what they was on about, blah, 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 this, that and the other. But then when he's around us, he's been sent to us by Jason Tyler, all of a sudden, oh yeah, we support everything you do, blah, blah, blah. All he brought to that situation was a court order, which Danny admits he broke several times. Danny can't seem to explain that Ricky Damon give Danny Jones permission to break that court order. How does that make sense, realistically? Now, when I've called that out and said, well, you know, you've said this, blah, 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 he's then spat his dummy out, threw all his toys out the pram. AJ didn't really know which way to jump. I've put the conversation out before with AJ where I've said, look, Danny Jones lied. You know, I don't know what your situation is or whatever, but I have to call it out for what it is. And AJ's response was, yeah, I know what you mean, it don't look great or whatever. And considering Danny was doxing people at the time, threatening to dox Vinnie Sullivan, I said, you know, I can't stand with this or whatever. I can't co-sign any of this. I'm against doxing, I'm against all this shit which is now happening. The fact that Danny Jones has told wild lies doesn't help the situation, and at that point, I have to call it out. I'm not like you, Jupiter. I will call things for what they are. Now, AJ said, oh, but you know, Danny's a handy guy. Yeah, he may well be a handy guy, you know, technology-wise and this, that and the other. He was showing us how to stop getting these false reports, take your channels down, this, that and the other. So yeah, he did have his uses, but I'm not going to stand with that just because, you know, because he's a useful guy. Fuck that.
And I don't care. I don't care what their feelings are. I'm not here to be. I'm not your mama. I'm not here to take fucking sides because you think... Now, you can come over here and you can go to me, I don't like so-and-so, right? I don't like so-and-so because I believe they're a bit sly. And I'll be okay, well, that's up to you. I can find out in my own time. But I've noted it at the back of my head. I don't have to react the way they want me to react. Not with anyone, ever. You know? So, you know, let them get on with it. His argument with Jason and Davy Russell and fucking Danny Sampson getting involved and all this bullshit that I was supposed to have doxed this fucking Daniel Sampson, right? Fucking
Who's Daniel Sampson?
Danny Sampson, don't you remember Wed Wobbin? Yeah, Freedom for Britain. Right?
Dan Simpson.
Oh.
You're mixing your names up now, Jupiter. That's another person you've attacked. It's Danny Simpson. And he did dox him. He did. I'll put all this shit out. He did dox him.
Simpson, whatever his fucking name. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Wow,
that's how relevant he was to me, right?
Have these two got a touch of Alzheimer's or something? What's going on here?
It's bullshit. But apparently, according to him, no proof, I haven't seen no proof, but according to him, Wake Up UK wants to come on my channel because he was being accused of doxing him and said, look, I didn't dox him. Here's the stream from his own Facebook. And this is what he did on his own Facebook Live. And he held up something with his own name and address on. In which case, Freedom for Britain doxed himself.
I think that's bullshit, to be honest. I think it was... I can't remember who it was. It was one of the trolls around Jason, and they've zoomed in like they do, enhanced it so they could see something in the background, and then Jason Tyler give it you, and you put it on your platform. So you doxed him, Jupiter. Like it or not, complicit or not, you doxed him.
And even if Jason came on my show and showed it again...
No, he asked you to show it, you showed it. Take some personal responsibility.
Which in a way is a slight second dox, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is. And you was complicit to it. Other than that, you would have gone, I'm not putting someone's address up. I'm not doxing.
Even if that is what it was, it's still Danny Simpson who doxed himself. These people need to grow up.
When you bear in mind, they did that in order to remove Danny from that position and put a Hope Not Hate agent or someone that's come away, allegedly, from Hope Not Hate, Graham Credder, into that position, knowing full well Jason Tyler can work with him and he can be the data collector. Yeah, there's a big problem.
Yeah, but Danny turned weird after, can you remember that time when he got drunk and I think he was calling Laura Lewis. I don't know. He was being really racist on Jason's stream.
Yeah, but that was all exaggerated a little bit anyway, because when we did review that on Bellies, I've got to be fair, he didn't actually say what people were saying that he said, but he did say that he was going to try and overthrow Anne-Marie Waters. He did say that. Which in itself is a bit suspect, because why are you trying to infiltrate groups and overthrow them? You got Paul Falk saying that he wanted to infiltrate Farage.
I'm not being funny, but he figured out that Anne-Marie Waters was literally telling lies for your handler, Jason Tyler. She was asked clearly, as was the other party members, a very simple question. Now, when they lie for him and say, no, he's not a part, he's not a member, he's not anything to do with us, this, that and the other, and Danny Simpson's looking at the evidence, which was sent stupidly by your handler, Jason Tyler, to try and rub Danny's nose in it, because he said, I'm in the party now, blah, 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 I'm a member, this, that and the other. And Danny went, no, you're not. Probably had a drink and whatnot. And then Jason Tyler thought he was clever and sent him the membership thing. Now, the membership was in his bullshit name. Now, I've already put that evidence out. it's not a conspiracy. That's what happened or whatever. Now, when I shown the party members this was the case, they lied and then asked for the evidence. I shown them the evidence, and then when I shown them the evidence, we had another phone call during which they then turned the tables and said, no, Graham Craddock was never in that, this, that and the other. And all of a sudden, the membership which he had was changed to another name, and in between Danny had asked them and they said no, he's never been a part of it, this, that and the other. And that was their solution to dealing with the problem. We'll just change the name on it or whatever. Now, they was quite wounded when I said, well, you've already admitted that he did come from the Hope Not Hate camp. If you like, I can send you the recording, because when you ring my phone for business use and all that kind of thing, it records everything that's been said. So, do you know what I mean? It's literally documented from start to finish. Now, obviously, they weren't happy with that. Quite angry, quite pissed off. And within a couple of weeks of that, 6 weeks maybe max, Anne-Marie Waters had been sent all the money by all these patriots, etc. and just disappeared with all the money. That's fact.
Infiltrate Farage. You got fucking Danny Simpson saying he wanted to infiltrate Anne-Marie Waters' party. You got Den Terragon calling everybody else Hope Not Hate, but the people around him are the ones that are infiltrating. Make that make sense.
Is anyone around me the people of Hope Not Hate, realistically? The only people that are fucking ended up around that group or whatever, ended up around that group. Now, people like Danny Jones, we called it as a fucking infiltrator from day one. Hence why we recorded every single footstep forward or whatever. Anything to do with Rude Awakening was well after. Now, I was asked by CMW to look into Danny Jones. He's contacted us, blah, blah, blah. This is why we're taking the King's Flag shit down or whatever. He wanted me to look into Danny Jones. I looked into it. I skimmed back several years and whatever, and I came back to CMW and I said, well, they've been ripping into what was formerly known as Pendragons, which CMW, the purer form from that. All that's around him was lefties, this, that and the other. You know, you've got Flow Destroyer, who's had George Galloway on there and whatever. It couldn't really get much more lefty fucking bullshit or whatever. And myself, Garrett and Nathan had a chat and said, well, you know, we can use it to see, you know, as a little experiment, if you like, to see how, you know, which way they want to try and do it, how they want to try and infiltrate things and whatever, see which way they want to take it. And we'll just record everything along the way. And then when they do try the bullshit, we've got all the recordings to pull it all out. Now, at the end of that, when we did call things out, Danny, considering we had a fallout over the doxing with the doxing that Danny was trying to do and trying to pull me into or whatever, I told him straight, nah, nothing, no, not about that or whatever. I can't be, you know, complaining about people doxing each other and then take part in it myself. Nah. Now, when we fell out because of that and obviously Kaylee had come away from all that and she weren't being given the same circumstances as everybody else or whatever, it caused a problem, caused a rift. Now, I couldn't give two shits either way. I already said to AJ on the run up on the weeks before that, Danny's told a lot of lies and I've got to pull him on it at some point in time. Which way are you going to jump? And in between, you'd had somebody doxing AJ beating his dog up and all that, and he told us a totally different story as to what the paper said or whatever, that shows he was literally pinning his dog down, punching it in the face, etc. Now, obviously AJ didn't say that. As people know, I'm a fucking avid dog lover or whatever. Not in an Esau way, obviously, but for me, it's man's best friend. You don't fucking beat dogs up. Now, when I've been given all this information and whatever, it's one of them I couldn't give two fucks how people reacted, how people give a shit or didn't give a shit or whatever. I was gonna call it out, and I was gonna call it out for the right reason. Simple as that. Now, when I've done that, Danny Jones said, "Oh well, we'll do it amicably." He was trying to fucking do it amicably, so I didn't call things out properly or whatever. That weren't gonna work. He signed over the site. He gave me the codes, this, that, and the other. Bear in mind, all the videos, all the shows that we've done on there was on there. Now, as people know, I copy things as we go anyway. So him then attacking the site after he'd signed it over to me a couple of weeks after, it was getting hacked or whatever. Now, as people know, some people don't maybe. I have got somebody very good at technology, this, that and the other. He is presently working in Dubai or whatever for cyber security. Now, I showed them what was going on and they managed to take an IP. Now, that IP doesn't transfer to Telford. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that or whatever. But yeah, the attacks was coming from Danny, but they wasn't coming from Telford. Now, it's one of them, innit? You can question why Danny would have done that and whatever. You have to draw your own conclusions.
Sense.
But I can't remember now why Danny Simpson, because he used to love Anne-Marie Waters, didn't he? I mean, he did. No, I can't remember what it was that made him turn on her.
Well, I've just explained it, Wendy. You've obviously got severe memory problems.
Because she threw him out the party for racism, didn't she, or something?
That was it. And then he went.
No.
Wait.
Yeah, then he went to Jada Franson, didn't he? That was it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Became big mates with Jada Franson.
Oh my God. Jupes, I thank you for giving me the heads up on a few dodgy characters on here due to my vulnerability. Yes, I'm learning fast and sometimes the hard way, but apparently you're my manager now, Kermit. What does that mean? I don't get it. Well, Kermit's told you I manage you. I don't manage you, Donna. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think Donna's got a brain injury or something. This is the problem when you've got vulnerable people around and they listen to the bullshit from these people. They'll run with it then and think that it's like, it's gospel, it's fucking written in stone. It's mad.
Donna tried
I actually feel sorry for the vulnerable people around that situation. They believe anything.
to manage me. You want to see the amount of videos she
Yeah,
sends me?
I've seen some of her comments.
It's mad.
They're all nuts to use words like managers, handlers, and all. Where do they think they are, Jews?
Is that coming from Wendy that has just literally made out that she's been in deep cover into Hope Not Hate to infiltrate to get bits of information? You sat there for a year and literally was involved up to your neck in all that shit. I'd go a little bit further and say you did the worst, to be fair, Wendy.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But yeah, Den's certainly a strange character. But then he would be. His best mate used to be Kaylee. I mean, where one went, the other went. They were never, they were always together.
Okay, what's this?
No, I defended Kaylee for a long time because, as I said, Kaylee weren't being given the same conditions as everyone else. People was making it out as, oh, Kaylee can't come on the show, Kaylee can't have a say, this, that, and the other. For me, once somebody does the right thing, you reward them somehow. You support them where you can, etc. As we had done everybody else that came away from that. I'm not going to start going, oh, double stand. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. And when you've got such shit being said about that situation and people trying to lay down the law and whatever, yeah, I'm going to go the other way. Like I say, I already have my reasons to be calling shit out anyway, so that just kind of put the icing on the cake, if you like.
Let's have a look at this. Someone sent me something and said, have a look at this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. That'll be for tomorrow. But oh, hold on a minute, Wendy. I've got to go a minute. One second. Someone's sending me something juicy. I've got to check it.
Guarantee it's the handle of Jason Tyler.
Yeah, I forgot about Danny Simpson. When the wed wobbling come bobbing along. Oh, he did used to make me laugh. And that bloody captain with his fucking flute. I don't miss him at all. What a character he is. Yeah, old Dan Harrigan. Dan, if you're listening, your hashtagging of me 22 times yesterday didn't work, did it?
Ha ha ha. Your blackmail didn't work, did it, Wanda? You tried it, it failed. The next day you had to start coming out with all sorts of bullshit like, oh, how can I be threatening to blackmail Crystal? Crystal doesn't exist, Crystal's Dave. And then you come out with more shit saying myself or Dave or both had been something about pictures of your children or grandchildren. What a load of shit. Now, for anybody that don't know about TikTok, when you finalise a video, when you press, I think it's next, there's 2 buttons you have to press before it will go onto TikTok. The first one you press, it takes a tiny little mini, only for a millisecond, a shot of your face or whatever. Now, Wendy don't know that, obviously, clearly not. That was what I was referring to.
Dopey.
Not being funny, but kids pics is more your lot. That's your kind of creepy fucking crew, innit?
I reckon they got nothing else better to do but hang around X and hang around YouTube,
Literally not got an X account.
waiting for bits to clip, coming up with extraordinary ideas that are not true.
Very rich.
And thinking they're very important.
Not being funny, Wendy, but you've come up with about 50 different job titles that you've had. You're a Walter Mitty for a start. You've never been a part of the forces. Stop lying to people. You've been caught out many times. You don't know your ass from your elbow when it comes to that side of things. You're not a journalist. You can barely string a sentence together. You can't really read. So it's like you're just full of shit, realistically, aren't you, Wendy?
When I think what's important is that a young woman with a baby gets arrested for having an opinion on the streets of Leicester, for God's sake. To me, that's what I think's important.
surprised you're not doctoring the baby, to be honest.
I also think it's important that, it really bothers me that those MPs get 6 weeks holidays. That really pisses me off, that the House of Commons shuts down and then them lot get 6 weeks holidays. They don't deserve 6 weeks holidays. They don't work hard enough.
Wendy's probably read that somewhere, or someone said it on a TikTok video.
To deserve
Wendy doesn't have her own opinions.
Of the 6 weeks holidays like the kids, school kids and teachers. No way they work hard enough. In fact, most of you in the chat must wonder half the time why you've even got an MP, because they're never there when you want them. And if they are there, they've got no solution to anything. Nothing. They don't do any good for no one. So it makes you wonder why we vote for them in the first place.
Only idiots vote. Your vote is your consent.
Because you're either, you very rarely get an MP that will, how can I put it, go further than they should to try and help someone in his constituency. No.
You know what I mean? She literally can't even string a sentence together.
You'd rather say, well, I'll send you an email. Send you an email.
Right. I've got some really hot, right off the press. Oh my days! You ain't
Right off the
this.
press.
It's gonna make you laugh. Right, what I've got to do, I just got to clarify something. But what I've got to do is I've got to transfer it over so that I can get it up and show it. So just bear with me, Wendy. I know that you're sitting there.
It's all right. I'm moaning about MPs. That's fine.
So let me... So, let's find a way of getting this across. But I don't know. People attacking people on fucking tubes and every bit of bitches, on tubes and all over the place. It's got to stop with females. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah.
It really has got to stop. So let me just turn my sound down again while I quickly transfer this over. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know of any MP that does any good in this country. I mean, when they stand up in the House of Commons and they say, oh, Sylvia in my constituency, her son has cerebral palsy and wants to know. Don't think for 1 minute that he does that every week. That woman Sylvia's probably been waiting a year for that question to be asked in the House of Commons. None of them do any good at all.
Oh, shit.
I mean, look at Nigel Farage. Every week he goes in there, right, and he sits there. He doesn't ask nothing, but he gets paid for sitting there. Look at bloody Sinn Féin. They were members of Parliament. I mean, this is hard to believe, right? Sinn Féin were members of Parliament, so the British government were paying Sinn Féin, but Sinn Féin refused to take their seats in the House of Commons because they wanted to see, they don't like the British, but the British government was paying them money for being MPs. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, my name is Martin McGuinness, and I used to run. My name is Martin McGuinness, and I used to be the IRA commander. I've now decided to be a politician in Sinn Féin. I'm now an MP. British government, pay me. And okay then, Mr. McGuinness, we will pay you. Fucking hell. Sometimes I just wonder. I just wonder.
I wonder if still Wendy's got the same opinion of Bleeding Heart, Jupiter's other mate, which is a Loudon Pride IRA supporter.
It's good luck to have bright white hair. Oh, it's obviously grey. I think he dies of
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone we know well
Oh.
was possibly followed, but they don't know that for certain.
Oh.
But there was racial abuse that went on a tube train towards a white woman.
Right.
And I'm going to get the footage up. I've got to try and... I just need to make sure that I don't show other stuff that I don't want to be seen.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. So I need to... How do I do this so that don't show? Well, I'm gonna have to read this bit out first. Okay.
Mm.
Right. Long shot, but I would love to have the name of this fool. He have it with his hands when he's trying to intimidate women on the tube, shouting in their faces to move and to get off the chairs. He cleared the carriage near enough. I was more shocked at him telling a black woman to get to the back of the train where she should be, and yet he was black himself. Shows it's nothing to do with colour, but an ideology, culture, keep in mind. Anyway, obviously me and my big mouth wasn't going to stay quiet. So he came into my face, told me to get off the train, which just wasn't going to happen. Hands were thrown by him as well as me. Next, he pulls out a bottle, says it all. Anyway, I'm all good. This isn't a pity post or me looking for praise. Just want a name as we both got off at Old Street and I wasn't waiting around for the police. There was plenty of people who was there and they have CCTV. Although I don't want the name for the police, and that's being straight. I've got a feeling he more than likely is known to counter-terrorist police in any case, and I think he was from Wales. So what I'm going to do is show this. This is a post from Ginger Tony, by the way, people.
Oh.
Right? So Ginger Tony, I want to get the...
You've gone all funny. We can't hear you, Jupes.